Right, today we are going to talk about power struggles and we're going to look at a fictional scenario. So let's dive into the story of Zack. He is 7. Everything's a bit of a power struggle with him. He has to sit in the seat that his sibling wants at dinner. There's always a fuss about where he sits in the car, and leaving the house turns into this marathon of delaying tactics. You know, shoes missing, last minute bathroom trips. If there's a way to slow things down, Zack will find it. So, if you're living with someone like Zack, it can feel relentless. You're tired, the kids are frustrated, and it seems like you are fighting every single little thing. But let's take a second to unpack what might be going on here. So Zack's behaviour, this constant need for control, honestly, it's not defiance. It often comes from a deeper place. So kids like Zack, who've experienced perhaps trauma, can feel completely out of control in their world. And so they'll latch onto the small things. You know, that seat at that table, that's something he can control. The order that everyone gets in the car, it's another opportunity to take charge. And it's these little moments, that's how he's finding himself some stability. But let's not just assume it's all about trauma in the traditional sense. Okay, because trauma doesn't always look like a big dramatic event. Maybe Zack's lived with an absent parent, and he's had to manage things on his own. Maybe his family situation has changed. You know, he's got a new sibling, or there's been a divorce, or parents separating. Even things like moving house or changing schools, that creates this need for control. So it's a way of coping. So when you think, well, my kid hasn't been through trauma, remember, trauma can come in all forms. So let's bring another child into the mix. So let's say that you've also got Sam, and he's 9 years old. He's a bit quieter, but he's starting to get frustrated too, because Zack always insists on sitting in his seat or taking forever to get ready. So now there's tension between the kids on top of Zack's controlling behaviour. And Sam's patience, just like your own, is running thin. So what do we do? So this is where this kind of model comes in. It's always good to come back to this. It's called PACE. So it stands for playfulness, acceptance, curiosity and empathy. And it's a way to approach your child in a way that keeps their emotional needs in focus while helping you understand what's driving the behaviour. So let's start with playfulness. Bringing a light, playful energy, well, it can really diffuse tension. So instead of saying, Zack, sit down already, you might say something like, Zack, is that seat super glued to your bum or something? You've been sat there for the past 2 weeks. You know, it's playful, it's light, and it breaks the tension. And it helps Sam too, because now he doesn't feel like it's a battle. It's a bit more relaxed for everyone. So next up, you've got acceptance. Okay, so you need to accept that Zack's behaviour, it isn't about trying to annoy you or his siblings, although it can very much feel like that. It's coming from a place of need. So instead of responding with frustration, say something like, I can see that it's really important to you to sit there today. So I wonder what makes it so special for you. You're accepting the behaviour without reinforcing it. You know, use your own words to make it feel natural. But this approach, it helps Sam as well, because he's seeing you handle Zack's with empathy rather than with anger and frustration. And that can take the edge out of the tension between the kids. So curiosity comes next. So we've had playfulness, acceptance, now it's curiosity. So you can say, I'm curious, Zack, does it feel better when you sit in that seat? Does it make things easy for you? You know, sometimes just opening up that space for them to think and reflect can shift their mindset a little bit. Maybe Zack will tell you something that you hadn't realised, and it's something Sam will understand too. And then finally, E, empathy. So this is where you help Zack feel understood. You might say, I get it. Sometimes, even when everything feels like it's all over the place, having something small, like where you sit, it can make things feel a bit better. Again, this helps Sam see that Zack's behaviour is coming from a need, not just defiance, and it helps ease that frustration between the siblings. Now, what if it just doesn't work? What if Zack is still determined to sit in that spot every single time? This is where we bring in a backup plan. Because sometimes the best solution is just to remove the choice altogether. So set assigned seats for the dinner table and in the car as well. Don't change them, right? Let Zack know these are our seats from now on. Because that consistency, that's going to bring a sense of security for Zack. But it also brings a sense of fairness and stability for Sam. No more arguing, no more battles. Now, because Zack has got that need for control, right, and it is important to address that, we cannot forget about Sam, because he deserves to feel like things are fair, and it's not always, we're not always giving in to Zack's demands. So this consistency, assigned seats, that don't change, it helps both of them. Zack gets the stability that he craves, and Sam gets to relax knowing there won't be constant battles. But because Zack still needs to feel some control, just offer it in other ways. So maybe he can be in charge of setting the table or deciding what the family does after dinner. You're still giving him responsibility, just not in a way that leads to sibling squabbles. So with kids like Zack, here's the approach. So use pace, so playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, empathy, to have that conversation and diffuse the situation. Not just between you and Zack, but also between the kids. If there's small choices aren't enough, then set some boundaries and assign those seats. Create those routines that do not change. This gives them both a sense of fairness and stability. And always offer other ways for Zack to feel in control, like helping the family tasks, deciding on activities that people are going to do after dinner. Because at the end of the day, small battles for control are really about Zack trying to feel safe and secure. So by giving him structure and offering him some healthy control, you are helping to ease his anxiety, while also making sure that Sam feels like things are fair and balanced.